Hi everybody, Chief here at Veterans Produce. Hello. So I just want to give you a daily update or another update today. I realized yesterday I kind of ripped by real fast about these water beds, and I didn't really explain anything about them. You may have noticed that there's two different sizes, and so I thought I would come back and explain a little bit more about what kind of beds, what media beds do I use, why do I use them, and what is the purpose of all these different components. So as you see over here, we have this is crushed granite. So why all the different types of medium or formats or different kinds of growing media. So let me start back at these beds. Yesterday, as you see, these are still partially populated. I'm still seeding and still early in the season yet. So anyway, so these are 2-inch pots or 2-inch holes to accommodate a 2-inch pot or cup. As you can see, these fit quite nicely. So the logic of a larger pot is more surface area to uptake nutrients, and so that's basically pretty self-explanatory. Lettuce does not require as much root ball space as does tomatoes. Tomatoes grow, of course, significantly taller, have more stalk mass, again, a much deeper and bigger root ball. So the 1-inch, these are probably more closer to 3/4 of an inch receiving slots for the lettuce, and so they do not have such a large demand or large root mass. In fact, you can actually see it's actually still not rooted yet. So let me take out some of this Rodan. Yeah, it hasn't gone through the bottom yet. So the smaller sockets or the seedling areas here are again just to accommodate the smaller plants that don't require a large root mass. So again, this bed number 1, I have over 100 plant sites. This bed has roughly 90, I think I mentioned yesterday, 30 plots or holes or receiving sites per raft. Each one of these rafts are individual. I'm using a 2-foot by 4-foot raft. You can break these up and cut them in smaller pieces, and there's really no rhyme or reason. In fact, it's very common that once these get loaded down with produce, they become kind of heavy and they break in the middle. So before they break, it might make sense to just go ahead and cut them in half. So I will probably end up cutting these down to 2x2s instead of 2-foot by 4-foot rafts. So those are the water rafts. These again just float on the water. Don't have any roots. Well, there's some little tiny roots coming through there. So don't have any roots yet, but so these just float on water, approximately 9 inches of water. Not really a requirement to have 9 inches, but that's the standard format that I build these beds out of. These are 2x10 treated lumber rails with a liner, and I'll talk more about the components that I use to manufacture to create these gardens.